7 years ago, I realized that I can capture kids' attention pretty well, pretty easily. And they get to know and respect me, and I give them the same respect. So I can teach them what I know, and my skill set is automotive and being able to figure things out. These kids aren't book learners. They're not very good at learning languages. Sheer memorization tasks is something that I had a real difficult time with. I can take something apart, blindfold myself, and put it back together without a problem. But sheer memorization tasks, languages, and stuff like that was always a problem for me. And I was always taught that I wasn't smart because I couldn't remember things. I couldn't take tests well. So I was, like I said, I was a social worker. 7 years ago, I realized that where I was going to take my career was to become an Autoshop teacher. So in order to do that, I needed to develop a second career as an automotive technician. So I quit my job, went to tech school. Biggest thing I learned there was how not to be an Autoshop teacher. And so then I spent 5 years as a technician. That was pretty good. That actually brought me out here to Colorado Springs, and I knew that this was my home after like 3 or 4 months. I changed my cell phone number over. And so I knew that I wanted to be an auto shop teacher. That's what I had put my whole life into. I had this separate career set of social worker, working with troubled kids, and automotive technician. So in blending that together, I always thought I was going to go work for a public school. But I've worked in the corporate world long enough to know that I should probably work for myself. So I developed Autoshop Vocational, and it's different than any other school because I don't give the kids any books to read. There's no written tests. All it is me holding up an engine part, say a piston connecting rod, and just explaining that it goes up and down like this. The hole at the bottom goes to the crank, and I have the crank on the side, and they can see that it spins like this. And then I have a cylinder block or a cylinder head that I can spin the cam on, the valves open and close. I can explain to anybody how an engine works in 2 minutes. If you try to read it in a book or you see it in a video, it's a concept. You're not actually seeing it. You're not actually realizing what it is. But with my experience-based learning, you get to see it, you feel it, you do it. And that's really what the school is all about. And getting these kids that aren't book learners, they're not knowledge-based learners. When they read, hear, see something, it goes in and out, just like with most people. But with my experience-based learning, it stays. And then so we have a classroom, and then for about an hour and a half, and then we go spend 2 or 3 hours in the shop. So I bootstrapped my first 2 sessions, and with great success. I have a 100% graduation rate. I have graduates in the community whose employers are asking me for more graduates. That actually, my first graduation, the kid was going to local charter school, and they had a video of him during graduation. And he got out, the video was, so what are you going to do after school? And he said, well, I really had no idea. I wasn't even sure I was going to finish school. But I went to Gregg's vocational school, and I have a plan, I have a job, and I know what I'm going to do after school. And I was sitting there, like this is, I don't tell many people this, but I'm telling a lot of people today. And so I was sitting there just blubbering. And it was like tears of joy. And I've had tears of joy before. We've seen the movie Rudy or, something like that. But I was just, uncontrollably. Here I am, a 6 foot, 280 pound man, just sitting there blubbering like a little child. And it was just tears of joy. And I've never had that before. And so I want to have it again. You know what I mean? Like that's just it's addictive. I mean, I have octane running through my blood of what we call it wide open throttle therapy. And so, so I got 1 minute left, so I got to really muscle through this. What I'm doing now is, and my biggest problem was getting the students from their school to my program. So what I'm doing is developing a trailer, a mobile trailer, so like think of a big rig, but you can tow it with a light duty truck, that has a classroom in the front and a shop in the back, so that I can bring my program to the schools. And that alleviates my biggest problem. And anybody that knows anything about education, transportation is expensive, you have to have a ton of insurance, and it takes a lot of time. So my program was 10 weeks, twice a week. So with the new restructuring, I'm gonna have the trailer, and I'm gonna back that up to different schools for 5 weeks, 4 days a week, so that I can train as many kids as possible. I got this concept from a guy at Zebulon Pike. He's the principal up there. He's developed a mobile welding trailer, and they have a 15-month waiting list for that trailer. So I know that my curriculum works. I've proven that. I know that this structure works. They've proven that. So I need some help with this in the community. And so am I done here? All right. So what I'm doing is developing this trailer, and I'm coining my own version of crowdfunding. You guys all know what crowdfunding is, yeah? So what it is I have it's called Autoshop Vocational, or Autoshop Value Club, and I have members and partners. Can anybody who's a partner in the room raise your hand? I mean, you can see the support that I have in the community by people that know and believe in me and what I'm doing. So what members pay annual dues to the school, and partners are simply people in the community who have agreed to give my members a discount on their services. It's people that I know, people that I've vetted, and people that I know that are going to give my members a good quality service and a discount to boot. So, thank you.